Last week I talked about how I changed from an English teacher to a copywriter because there weren't really prospects to develop my career in teaching platforms like Cambly. But that's not to say English teaching cannot be a profitable and valid career. If it's your passion to teach, it's definitely possible, but you do need a bit of a business entrepreneurial mind to help you with that. Now, I did have a handful of my own students when I was teaching, but to be honest, I did it all wrong. Now I work for marketing in a company that was a small startup business, and in just a few years it got bought by a big business in our industry. And the thing that I've realised after working there a year is a lot of what we do and what we teach other businesses we work with to do can be applied to teaching as well to make teaching successful. It's nothing to do with teaching, but learning about marketing has shown me what I would do differently if I took all what I know now and started as an English teacher from scratch again. So I'm going to tell you so that you can learn from my mistakes and from my successes in marketing to make a stellar English teaching platform for yourself. First things first, if you're going to bypass all of the other teaching platforms where you pay them a cut of the money that you're making in order for them to host you there, you're going to need a website. I use Squarespace, and I am not sponsored by Squarespace, but if they're listening and would like to sponsor, I do find them a lot easier to use than WordPress, which I also use in my job. I just find the usability of Squarespace easier. It's clean, simple, block templates. It is an investment. You can make free websites, but they won't look professional. A domain like @wordpress.com is going to be off-putting for students. So I think I pay nearly £200 a year for my Squarespace and my domain. So assuming you know nothing about website design, I don't really have an eye for design, I wish I did, then a simple, easy to use website is the best way to go, and you can use a template on Squarespace to build from. So it's already laid out for you. Don't try and do it from scratch. And then you need to brand it. And a really easy way to do that is to set up a free account on Canva and make some simple graphics. You could simply use your name. That could be your brand. I use my name in my brand, Charlie's English Channel. My advice would be to keep it simple. This is advice I didn't use. I wasted so much time rebranding and playing around with different colours. There are tips online on using a colour wheel. I would say don't overcomplicate it, because this isn't your skill that you're showing. You're teaching people how to speak and write and listen in English. So keep your branding simple. It will save you a lot of time and stress. Use the templates on Canva and on Squarespace that are available to you. Don't waste too much time setting up the website. Just keep it clean. Clean looks more professional anyway. Don't try and clutter the space. White space is good on a website. So to get started, you don't need that many pages. You need a home page, an About You page. This is where you can showcase your qualifications as an English teacher, and if you've already got experience as an English teacher. You could put an FAQ page to answer any common questions. Then have a page for your blogs that you will start building to create rich content, educational content that will attract students to you. As you build more content, we'll begin to search engine optimize your site, but I'll do a whole other video on that for you because it's a whole world in itself. So you've got your website, you've got your brand idea, your brand name. Before you get excited and start advertising to students, you need prices. Now, my main tip on this is obviously do your market research and then trust yourself and stand firm on your pricing. Create a menu of prices so that you can easily communicate to students that a simple half-hour lesson where someone just wants to practice their already advanced speaking skills is going to cost less than creating a lesson for a child that will need lots of prep, lots of props, and a lot more skill goes into it. A lot more energy goes into it as well. It can be exhausting, the amount of time you need to use your hands. As you can see, I already use my hands a lot when I talk. You will get students asking for cheap lessons. Stand your ground and remember, you have bills to pay too. If you start as a teacher and then give loads of discount, you'll soon realise that you're burning yourself into the ground and then you're not really serving anyone at a high standard. That's not to say there won't be options to teach students who might not be able to afford a one-to-one lesson. With technology these days, you could provide a group lesson. For example, if you had 4 students on an hour's Zoom call of a similar ability, you can charge each of them £5 and then you're still making £20 for the hour. And where I come from, £20 is a pretty good rate for an hour's lesson. And just pulling that number out of the air, I would still recommend you research what the prices are going in the industry. As I said, I've been out of it for a couple of years, so it may well have changed a lot. So you've got a brand, a website, a price list that isn't set in stone. It can be tweaked if you think you've missed the mark a bit with the current market rate and aren't getting any inquiries. More on that later. Now set up an email list. When I first started as an English teacher, and I watched lots of YouTube videos from YouTubers who talked about building your own brand and making your own business, and a few of them said a lot about the importance of having an email list, and I ignored them and I was wrong. And now that's part of my job, and I see the sheer amount of leads we get in our work from our email nurture list. It is so important, and it's not as complicated as it sounds to do. You can do it through Squarespace, or you can use other services like ConvertKit. They do a service where you can use it for free until you get a certain amount of email subscribers as well, to communicate with new students, with potential students. If you get them on your email list, you can simply send them an email every week to remind them of the knowledge you have, the authority that you have as an English teacher, show them a little bit behind the scenes to get them to trust you as a person, and always add a call to action as well. It could be to book a lesson with you, or it could be an activity to do to help practice their English. Again, building the trust they have with you. It's not something you need to overkill. Again, it's another thing I will go into more detail in another video about, but start with a simple once a week newsletter, set up some templates to confirm when someone's booked a lesson, to thank them for booking the lesson, to follow up on the lesson, to give them feedback. All of this will feel like they're getting more value from you as a teacher as well, if they know that you haven't just shut the lesson and that's it, you don't think about them until you see them next week. Now you need to really start advertising to students, so you need to get savvy on socials. Now, one of the first things that my boss taught me in my current job was that most businesses see social media marketing or any kind of marketing as the icing on top of the cake. This is their business, and oh yeah, we just need to have a social media account as well. When actually your marketing is the jam in the middle of the cake, holding it together, because you could be the best teacher in the world with the most sophisticated website and lesson plans and innovative, exciting lessons, but if nobody knows about them, who are you going to teach? So marketing is really important, and as a business grows, it makes sense to go into paid marketing. But for now, let's take it one step at a time. I don't want to overwhelm you. To start with, you just need to start putting yourself out there with organic posts. This advice will change year on year. It changes so much. The hot platform changes all the time, but right now, as I'm recording this, TikTok is the place to be. It's not just for the teens anymore. Businesses are on there too. It's quite easy to jump on a trend and grow through hashtags, a thing that's long gone on Instagram these days. You don't have to be an influencer if you don't like putting your face in front of the camera. There are creative things that you can do. Again, with Canva, you can even make animations in Canva now. You could make small graphics. If you're a grammar expert, you might want to share some grammar tips that write themselves along the screen. It's really so accessible for people who are not video editors or video animators. The key to socials is to be consistent. You want to produce things of quality, yes, but just getting something out there a few times a week, same day every week or same time of the day, with a call to action to get people to engage and talk to you and talk back to them on each post, is the way you can start to grow within your industry, follow other people within the hashtag of teaching other English teachers. They might inspire you. You might see a take an American teacher has on the differences between American and British English, and it might make you think of other American and British English differences that you want to talk about too. So now you've got a brand, a price list, you should be starting to get students and make a social media presence and connect and engage with those students. You need to track everything. Honestly, this is the boring tip. I don't know why I've saved it till last, but trust me, when it comes to tax season, you will thank me for this. And again, use things that are already out there, like Google Sheets templates. There are sheets that you can do annual financial planning, monthly financial planning. I'm not a spreadsheet expert, and they can really help. Just for the first year you are self-employed, just log everything, every little thing you buy, even if it's, you know, some bargain cheap little props to teach children. It could be like a £4 teddy bear that you use. It could be actual camera equipment that you've invested in. And of course, every lesson, every payment, just log everything. And if you are, like me, an English teacher who has a very much English and creative brain, and the logic and maths side of my brain just fails in comparison, use the templates that are already there and available to you, or even software. You can invest. I think QuickBooks do a simple little app I used for some months as well, just to log your ingoings and outgoings, make sure all students get an official invoice, draw up a kind of contract for everyone that starts as a student with you. Trust me, when it comes to that first tax day, you'll thank me. So that's it. If you take away anything from this video, it's yes, it can be overwhelming to be self-employed, but modern technology is there to help you, so let it help you. As I think you'll have noticed, I've said there's templates for everything. There are already the ideas to make social media videos out there. There is a difference between copying someone and being inspired by someone, and trust me, all the successful business owners, influencers, famous podcasters that you'll have heard of have copied their ideas because they read a lot and they pinch ideas and put them all together. And that's okay. Next week, I'm going to start delving deeper into each of these points, beginning with building your brand and your website. So if this video's lit a little bit of a spark in you that you want to be your own boss, stay tuned. Like and subscribe, do all the YouTubey things, and I'll be putting a video out once every week to help you create your teaching site with a business mind, but I won't always have the blazer. If you really don't want to miss it, sign up to my email list below and I'll send you a link to the video every week as well. And tell me down below, what is the one thing that scares you the most about setting up your own business? Is it one of the points we've talked about in this video? And do you think a video going more deep into detail on that will help you? I can't wait to hear from you, and I'll see you next week. The clean... Is it one of the points we've talked about this? I feel like a news reporter. I've got blazer and mic. Double whammy on the meaning business today.